Trading has given me the chance to do things I never thought were possible. It let me pay off my car 9 months early. Now I have no more monthly payments, no strings. I don't owe anybody anything on the car. And I still remember that letter coming in the mail that said that the loan was paid in full and having the title with my name on it. Finally, that moment felt like I was closing a chapter. Trading also funded my first sabbatical, where I spent 7 months traveling across the United States, visiting France, Switzerland, and Belgium. And I can still picture myself standing in front of the Eiffel Tower, riding trains through the Alps, tasting chocolate and waffles in Brussels. And I still remember thinking, this trip is already paid for. No credit card bills piling up, nothing. Later, trading made a second sabbatical possible. Not 7 months this time, but 2 full years. 2 years away from work. 2 years where I had the space to finish my MBA at Yale and completely reset my life. On top of that, trading gave me the ability to pay down debt that used to feel like it was going to hang over my head forever. Now, I want you to imagine what those moments might look like for you. What would it feel like to open a letter saying that your loan is gone and paid in full? Whew, hallelujah. To wake up in Paris or Geneva, knowing that the trip was already covered. To step back from work, not for a week, not even for a month, but long enough to breathe and to build the next chapter of your life. That is what trading has done for me. But here's the part that most people miss. The trips, the sabbaticals, the debt payoff, even the car, they weren't the real win for me. They were just signals of something bigger. And in just a minute, I'm going to share what the bigger win really was. The part that will stay with you long after that thing itself is gone. You've probably seen the highlight reels on social media, people flashing screenshots of really big wins, vacations, new cars with really big bows on it. It's really easy to get pulled into all of that. But what those reels don't show is the process. The discipline, all of the inner mindset shifts, the growth that you carry with you long after the money is spent. Because in this video, that is the story that I care about sharing. If you build a skill, or when you build a skill like trading from the inside out with consistency, structure, and personal responsibility, the outcomes become more than the material things that you may be able to buy from trading. They become evidence. Evidence that you have built clarity, evidence that you can stay calm when other people are panicking inside of the markets. And it's also evidence that you can trust yourself to make decisions and then back them up with data. And that is actually where real freedom begins. And I'll show you what I mean by starting with my first sabbatical, because that trip wasn't just about travel. Of course, all the travel was amazing. It was literally about trusting myself in a whole new way. So for me, the first sabbatical lasted 7 months. I packed my suitcase. I was living in Silicon Valley, and I also put all my stuff in storage, and I just hit the road. I drove all across the United States, visiting places I'd only seen on the maps, like Grand Canyon, Meteor Crater, and a whole bunch of other places in between. But then I crossed the ocean, and I spent about 2 months in France, Switzerland, and Belgium. And I remember sitting in a cafe in Paris, sipping my little coffee, and people watching after I met with my French tutor. Taking a train throughout the Swiss Alps, staring at the mountains so big, they didn't even look real. It looked like I was looking at a postcard. And walking through Brussels with a cone of fries in my hand, laughing to myself, because at that moment I realized that I wasn't rushing back to work. This trip was already paid for by the markets. No huge credit card balance waiting for me when I got home, no surprises, nothing like that. And then that's when it also hit me that this wasn't about trading giving me stuff. It was about trading giving me the breathing room, the ability to pause, take a step back without fear, and also to prove to myself that I could create options that didn't exist for me before. And as incredible as that trip was, this was just a preview, because the second sabbatical would give me something even bigger than travel. So this second sabbatical was about 2 years long, 2 full years away from work. Not a break that you squeeze into some PTO. Maybe you get 2 weeks or maybe you get 1 week. Not a long vacation, but actual space to reset my life. And during that time, I finished my MBA at Yale, and I didn't just walk away with a degree that is over here. I walked away with a new sense of who I could be, because that's what happens when you have the time. You start thinking differently. You get clarity on what you want, and you get real honest about what you don't. And also, you stop making choices out of panic, fear, or pressure. That's the kind of freedom that trading created for me. And for me, it wasn't about leaving work forever. It was about knowing that I could take the time when I need it, and I could come back to work stronger. And in just a minute, I'll share with you how that same discipline helped me tackle something a lot less glamorous, and that's credit card debt. And that's why that win may be even more important than the sabbaticals themselves. I've been interested in personal finance since 2009. Back in college, I didn't really have great examples around money growing up, so I went to the internet like everybody else and I searched for answers. I started reading every personal finance book I can get my hands on, and I learned how credit works, how to budget, and how to save. And honestly, I've always been really good at managing my money, but trading gave me something that I hadn't experienced before. It was that ability to accelerate. So during my sabbaticals, I didn't miss a beat financially, thank God. And most people taking months off would expect to fall behind and maybe get some unexpected debt. But I was still able to make the extra payments because I had trading. Now, was my trading perfect at the time? Absolutely not. But I was still gaining some additional money in the market, and I was able to put that towards it. And the truth is, any additional income that you get, when you use it the right way, you can crush your debt faster. So trading just became the tool for me that gave me that extra little cushion. And it turned what could have been a slowdown into momentum that carried me into my most recent milestone of paying off my car 9 months early. So this happened just a few months ago. Well, maybe more like 4 months ago at this point. But I made my last payment on my car 9 months ahead of schedule. When the letter came in the mail saying that the loan was paid in full and the title arrived with my name on it finally, that moment hits differently. Because it wasn't just about a trip or an experience. It wasn't about taking time off from work. It was about something solid, something official, and something permanent, and something that I could put my hands on. Especially because now the car is mine. And every single payment that went into that loan was fueled by discipline, structure, and the skills that I have built inside of trading. And now, every time I see that car just sitting in my garage, I don't see it as just a car or just transportation. I see it as freedom. I see proof that the work that I put in continually creates results that I could see, touch, and hold the keys in my hand, and knowing that it's 100% mine. It's also a reminder that I can turn effort into outcome again and again and again. And if you're watching this thinking, I want my version of that story, that's exactly why I created the Profitable Traders Academy. It's where I mentor traders step by step, so you're not trying to figure all this stuff out alone. Inside, you'll learn one clear strategy that cuts through the noise, and you'll get weekly support so that way you never stay stuck. And you'll also be a part of a community that actually wants to see you win. The link to join is in the description box below. When you're ready to join, go ahead and check it out. But don't click off this video yet, because next I want to show you how these wins tie into something even bigger than cars, trips, and paying off debt. So for me, it was travel, it was sabbaticals, it was paying down debt, it was paying off my car early, but your version may look completely different. Maybe it's about finally creating a cushion so you can leave a toxic job. Maybe it's paying for your kids' activities without stress. Maybe it's saying yes to a trip that you've been putting off for years. And the point isn't the thing. The point is the transformation. Because when you build trading skills, you don't just build a bigger account. You build a version of yourself that trusts your own choices and decisions, and also knows how to turn effort into outcome, that sees freedom not just as an escape, but basically having options. And that is the real win. So for me, I smile when I look back at the photos of Paris, Switzerland, and Belgium because I was there for 2 months. I also smile knowing that I took not one but 2 sabbaticals, one filled with travel and the other filled with growth and my MBA. And I also traveled as well, don't get me wrong, but I also smile remembering the day that I opened that letter and I saw that my car was paid off in full. And I also smile every time I think about the weight of debt finally lifting. But what makes me smile the most isn't the trips or the different milestones, it's the person that I became through all of this. Because that is the part that lasts. And that's also the part that's available to you too. When you build trading skills with intention, everything around you begins to shift. And it's not because of one single moment inside of the market, but it's because of how you show up again and again and again. So let trading be the tool to get you the trophies, the cars, the trips, or whatever you're looking for, and just keep building. Keep building one choice at a time. If this video gave you something to think about, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, share it with a friend, and make sure that you don't miss the next video. Because currently I'm posting 3 times a week to help you build trading skills with confidence and clarity. And if you're ready for the next step, go ahead and check out the other videos on this channel. They'll walk you through the same process that I use to mark up my charts, my plans, and also take trades. So go ahead, keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next videos.